The Olympics are all about fair play and athletic excellence, but some athletes and even some countries have tried to cheat their way to victory. Today, we're diving into some of the worst attempts to cheat at the Olympics.
Oh, there'll be some good ones.
First up, we have one of the strangest cheating attempts in Olympic history. In 1936, Dora Ratjen competed in the women's high jump for Germany. Dora finished 4th, but later it was discovered that Dora was actually Heinrich Ratjen, a man.
Hold on. Has someone tried to pull the wool over the world's eyes like 100 years earlier with this stuff?
Well, you might be surprised to know that the Nazis weren't up on the straight and narrow. They did some dodgy stuff.
You think?
Yeah. The Nazi regime had forced him to compete as a woman to increase their medal count.
You know what the best thing is? He only finished 4th. He didn't even get a medal.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's the amazing thing, is that he didn't even get a medal.
Well, if there's one thing about Nazis, they may have cheated on everything, but they didn't win, so.
Yeah, that's true.
The scandal was revealed years later, and Heinrich lived the rest of his life away from the spotlight.
I just love the fact that they've tried to do this and it's failed completely.
Next, we have the infamous fencing scandal of 1976 involving Soviet fencer Boris Onyshenko. During the modern pentathlon, Onyshenko used a modified, oh my God, EPEE with apostrophes. I don't even know what that is, how to pronounce it. You figure it out.
Epi, I think.
Epi. With a hidden switch that allowed him to register a hit without actually touching his opponent. His cheating was discovered when officials noticed his score changing despite no contact being made. He's tried to cheat so bad that they just caught him. In the 1904 St. Louis Olympics, American runner Ford Laws took an unconventional approach to the marathon. After running 9 miles, he hitched a ride in a car for the next 11 miles. He then rejoined the race and crossed the finish line first. His victory was short-lived as spectators who saw him get out of the car exposed his cheating. Now, you would think if you're going to take a car during a marathon, you would at least try to hide it and not have all the people see. Laws claimed it was a joke, but the officials weren't amused. He was disqualified, and the true winner, Thomas Hicks, was awarded the gold medal. Imagine running in the Olympics, getting in a car, and then being like, ha ha, what a prank I pulled. Back when there were no videos or reasons to pull off a prank either, and they probably didn't even know what pranks were.
Yeah.
Do you think we could get you into the Olympic marathons and cheat you there?
The problem is I'm not going to you've got to qualify in the first place.
That plus like they see you in 10 seconds, you're like, you're a little bit overweight for a marathon runner.
The whole area is completely like fenced off as well now these days. So you couldn't even cheat if you tried.
At the 2000 Sydney Olympics, Chinese gymnast Dong Fang Xiao and Yang Yun were part of the bronze medal winning team. Years later, it was discovered that both gymnasts were underage during the Olympics. Olympic gymnasts must be at least 16 years old, but Dong and Yang were only 14. The deception came to light when Dong listed her true birth date on her blog. The International Olympic Committee stripped the Chinese team of their bronze medal. Now, if you're gonna cheat at the Olympics, don't out yourself on your blog. But this does actually highlight that we could get someone disqualified if we just made a blog of some gymnast.
You could make up all kinds of crap if you really wanted to.
If we just claimed to be some gymnast who won the 1996 Olympics, and then you post a blog with the wrong date of birth, and then bada bing, bada boom, we'd get some random disqualified.
Yeah.
So if you ever win an Olympics, you're getting disqualified.
You're going to try and do whatever to disqualify. Yeah.
The first modern Olympics in 1896, which you remember well.
In Athens, yes.
Well, it saw Greek runner. Now, this is going to be an epic name to try to pronounce. Spiridon Stamatios, which is his nickname, Lewis, crowned the winner of the marathon.
Yeah.
However, it was later revealed that Lewis had taken a carriage ride for part of the race. Despite the scandal, he wasn't disqualified.
He wasn't disqualified.
And his victory was celebrated in Greece.
Wow.
He also became a national hero.
He became a national hero.
So do you want to take back what you said about Mr. Laws, who got caught in the car?
What is it with the locals at the Olympics trying to do the dodgies? The Greeks in Athens in 1896 and the Americans in St. Louis.
2032, I reckon we got to get someone in the marathon and we get them to Tallyport, which will probably be around there.
Could be,
Or we
actually.
drone them from the start to the finish. Imagine you're running a marathon and a drone picks you up and then drops you at the finish line.
Yeah, that'd be...
Actually, your son would be old enough for us to get him in and cheat.
No, he won't be because he'll only be 12 at that point.
Okay. We're going to lie about his age and say he's 18.
Let's do that. We'll put him in the gym. No, he might actually be still too tall for gymnastics by the time he gets
No. He's running. We can't cheat the gymnastics. We're cheating the marathon via drone.
Okay.
So we lie about your son's age, say he's older. 10 years later, I'm going to write a blog and out him and destroy his life. But for the time it's worth. Or I can just blackmail your son and say that if you don't give me half your income, no matter what it is, I'm going to out you on our blog about how we used a drone to cheat you in the Olympics. Deal?
We'll work out what happens in 2032 at Brisbane.
All right, I'm just going to edit in you saying yes from earlier on. At some point, you said yes. Canadian sprinter Ben Johnson made headlines at the 1988 Olympics when he won 100 meters in a record-breaking time. However, just days later, he tested positive for steroids. Johnson was stripped of his gold medal and the title went to American Carl Lewis.
Ben Johnson, he was juiced up on all kinds of stuff.
You know, because you gave it to him. The Spanish Paralympic basketball team at the 2000 Sydney Games was found to have included 10 players who were not intellectually disabled.
They were able-bodied athletes, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The team won the gold medal, but an investigation revealed the truth, leading to the return of the medals and a major scandal. While not strictly an Olympic event, the lead up to the 1994 Winter Olympics saw one of the most notorious scandals in sports history. Figure skater Tonya Harding's ex-husband and her bodyguard conspired to injure her rival Nancy Kerrigan
Right.
by hitting her in the knee with a bat.
Yeah, that's right.
The attack led to a media frenzy, and while Harding was allowed to compete in the Olympics, she finished 8th. Imagine going through with that and then not winning.
Yeah, she didn't win.
Kerrigan recovered in time to win silver. So not only did they injure her, she got silver and then...
So the whole thing was a complete failure.
Yeah, and then got caught and then has been like
There was a
forever
movie.
known. Yeah.
There was a movie about it as well, I think. From memory.
What I don't get is how they thought they were going to get away with it.
Well, they weren't.
Yeah, but obviously they thought they were going to.
Well, they never were.
Yeah, but how did they think? Because obviously they're not going to do it if they knew they would get caught. They obviously thought that they were going to get away with this some way.
If you've got a heated sporting rivalry with someone else, you're never going to get away with doing something like that.
In fact, even if you didn't do it, you're going to be thought
still
of doing
going
it.
to thought of done it. Like, you're just never going to get away with it.
In the 1984 Los Angeles Olympics, Puerto Rican long jumper Madeline De Jesus was injured during her event. To keep her team in the running for the 4x400 relay, her twin sister, Margaret, who was not an Olympic athlete, stepped in to run the qualifying heat. The switch went unnoticed until the team's coach found out and withdrew the team from the finals, avoiding a major scandal.
Wow, the sister must have been quick enough to...
Well, I mean, if it's your twin or whatever.
Both twin sisters, right, must have almost made that team.
Could you imagine if your brother was running in the Olympics and then put you in? Like how quickly you would get noticed?
Oh, it'd be shocking. But there are some twins, right, who just look similar enough you'd struggle to notice.
In fact, I don't know why more countries aren't doing this. In fact, I'm even going to go as far to say that I reckon this is definitely being pulled off.
Oh, of course it has.
Because if you're doing some of these events where you're going to get tired, right? If you have
You're right. Got to be identical twin sibling.
You have to be identical, train together.
Your body compositions have to be pretty much identical.
All we need is 2 supreme athletic, Olympic athlete level twins. And then we're going to enter them into every event and then they're going to win them all because they can switch out. Whereas most people have to do, you do the 200, I do the 400, etc. Most people have to do each event themselves. So therefore they're way more tired.
Yeah, that's true. I was just thinking for marathon running, if you had a twin sibling who an identical.
Halfway through the marathon.
through, you just switch.
Are they allowed to go to the toilet? Because like partway through, you hide the twin in the toilet.
You hide them somewhere behind a building or something or whatnot that's not known. You give him the jersey, put normal clothes back on the other person, and they just walk off and they've got the full team kit and off they go.
Then somehow someone sprinted the entire marathon.
That's someone's here, I know.
How did they knock an entire hour off this marathon speed?
That's the one, like if you went through like a certain part of like an area that.
Yeah, why aren't these dodgy countries hiring us? Like
That's
the
what
Soviet Union of the 80s needed to get us because surely.
The Soviet Union
We
did some
could've-
amazing.
Yeah, but we could have dominated the Soviet Union with our athletic program where we take twins, train them up, and then switch them out during events.
Cross-country skiing.
Think of how good we could have had it. We would have been like super level Soviet Union people, whatever that is, which just shows my knowledge. At the 1908 London Olympics, the Swedish tug of war team faced controversy when it was revealed that they wore spiked boots to gain an advantage over their opponents. The British team protested, but the Swedes claimed it was part of their national attire. Despite the protests, the Swedes were allowed to compete and ultimately won the gold medal.
Good on them.
We should have done the tug of war in G-strings to put off the opponents and said, well, this is our national attire.
National attire.
Why can't I wear
Spikes and G-strings.
spikes and G-strings? Or just spikes?
Just spikes.
No G-strings?
Spikes and G-strings. Just sounds good. Spikes and G-strings.
Forget that spiky G-strings. Imagine you rock up in regular shoes, but there's spikes all over your G-string.
Not exactly the most comfortable, but anyway.
Or forget that, we wear strap-ons and
Yeah.
it helps me glide through the river.
Yeah.